until, yeah, you'll have until
10:20.
10:20?
Whatever. Just, yeah, that's fine.
Started at 10.
Well, I guess we're getting started now. They're getting notified. Saying, just saying you have until 10:30 to get in the drawing, the giveaway. Right.
Alright. So, Blinky Poo.
Get out of here, goobers.
So, 9 minutes.
Been a while.
Skeletonia.
I think we're gonna do that.
Oh,
Seems
really?
fun. It's a bike ride. It's a bike ride to raise money for a graveyard. Seems like a fun time. All kinds of grim people, all kinds of fake goth girlfriends will be out there.
Any horse girls?
No, none of the Skeletonia.
Alright, we
They
ready
believe in
to,
the Lord.
we ready to go live on?
Yep.
Horses are a gift from the Lord.
Good to go?
I'm good.
Oh.
What's up, people that aren't in the room
Hey,
yet?
welcome to the party.
We're back in the basement.
Yeah, we've traveled the Middle West and brought our asses right back to this motherfucking basement.
It's better here.
It's more comfortable.
It is definitely 100 times more comfortable than sitting in a hotel room with a stinky backpack full of my clothes.
Yeah, I also had to reuse my workout clothes too many times. Like, I'm sure I got a fungus of some sort, I'm guessing.
Ugh. Dude, my backpack smelled so bad. I had to go home and
Did you put it on
wash it.
Patreon yet?
I
No?
didn't have the title proper, so
Okay,
there we are.
perfect. Sorry.
No, you're good. Sorry to
Sound like a whip cracker. Quacker. Cracker. Quacker or cracker? Quacka. Whip quacka. Not some sort of whip quacka over here.
This kicks ass.
All right. Now the party starts.
It was a fun trip. We're going to talk about it on the show, so we're not going to sit here and talk about it.
No. I did get a tattoo today. And I actually, it was weird because there was another tattoo artist there, and once I mentioned what I did, the podcast thing, this guy was like totally in my shit. Not in my shit, but like the other, I felt really bad because he was like ignoring the guy that he was tattooing, and he would like stop tattooing and be like, "For real, you do that? That's your job? I can't fucking believe it." And he's just like standing there ignoring the guy he was tattooing.
That is yeah, I've been there.
Drew him into my fucking atmosphere.
I have been there. You're just like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's really my job. I swear to you on my
That's
life,
how I'm
it's
paying.
my job.
That's why I'm getting a stupid tattoo on my hand. That's because they were like, wow, a hand tattoo. It's a big step. And I was like, oh, I have my neck tattooed. And they're like, oh, I didn't see it. You know, they didn't see him on the other side. And but then they were like, well, what do you do?
They ask what you do for a living. Yeah, I get that. I mean, people don't really ask me enough
Well,
that I
dude,
get to brag about it.
You're sitting with somebody for 3 and 4
Yeah.
hours at a time. You have to just come clean about everything, you know?
Yeah, and like, yeah. I mean, my dentist knows because I'm just kind of talking to them, and they always ask me about shit.
Well, that's nice. That's a personal touch.
And I'm just like, it feels like they're just excited to talk to me about podcasting when I get in there. It's a really weird.
Well, there are probably not many other clients they get to do that with.
Not in Columbus, Ohio.
Like, have you heard? The BBC does some pretty good podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of those ones.
Yeah.
But I like to go to Top News. Somebody was like, when the guy was like, so like, where do they play you at? And I was like if you have an Apple phone and you just go to podcasts. just look the name, just get it. He was like, "Oh, cool." It was just like he didn't know at all what the fuck was happening.
That is the world that we live in. Now he's gonna start a podcast in 3 days.
Oh yeah, I know. He's like, man, we could talk about doing tattoos, dude. All the wild stories we hear.
We can talk about tattoos and libertarian politics.
Yeah, there was some of that. We talked about Joe Rogan a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because he's the king of podcasting to anybody, to like that group of guys, you know.
I would love to hear the.
But the one dude was super into it. He was into this. He said, I actually do support one podcast. It's the Micadelic podcast. And I was like, whoa, what? What the wow.
Heard. That one's a little problematic.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, shit. But it was a different one. It has an A in it.
Okay, that's not as bad.
Right? I know, yeah. It was but it's like, but I looked it up and it was called like a Liberty podcast. It said something about liberty and psychedelics.
Why is that? I don't know how that happens,
motherfucker. Because if you got a tattoo machine and a passion, you can make all the money in the world, right? Yeah. You write your own paychecks with this tattoo machine. Self-made millionaire. Yeah. Off of my shit, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the reason that it happens. You're talking about guys getting a hell of a lot of money for doing something cool. Just can't help it from getting caught up in that yellow and black.
Yep.
You know? I hope they don't listen to this.
Oh,
they won't. They're not bonus subscribers. They got to pay extra to hear me talk shit about them.
Somebody just beat me in walking today.
Oh no!
Somebody just took first place today, and I had to let them know that I'm working now, so I can't win, and I'm mad.
Oh wow! You're gonna be just seething this whole thing. What did they hit?
They got 31,889, and I'm at like.
Folks, if you didn't know, we have a what's called a pacer group now.
It's intense now. It's getting insane.
It's a fitness group thing. It's on the apps. It just basically counts your steps. And
I'm at 30,050.
Woo!
And he's at 31,889.
I sat in a chair the whole day, so for me, I did not get very many steps. I probably got 6,000. Brian's walking in place now. This is what people think you're doing.
The truth is,
you're always pacing around your house. Just
the thing is, folks, it's not a healthy competition group. It's if I see somebody beating me, I feel like I have to win. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
It's the ugly kind of competition.
Yeah, it's ugly.
It brings out the bad side of people.
It's hideous competition, and everybody in the group is getting that way too. Where it's like, no, I just want to be Brian, and it's like that's no kind of goal. You're supposed to let me be in first place.
That's what we're here
for. Yeah, come on. Daddy eats first. Oh, I am like 200 steps behind.
Let me see. For those of you folks that don't think you can hang with that, maybe you could get a little bit of self-esteem from beating me at steps. Let me see where I'm at for the day.
I'm at 30,070. Oh, I'm about to just walk outside and come back when we record.
Okay, I am currently number 27.
Ooh, out of 40, though. 45.
Yeah, right in the middle of the pack, 5,000 steps today.
Ugh.
Not the best.
That would bum me out. Like when I was on vacation, tour, I had one day where I got 4,257. That was Sunday, and 7,645, which I think was Friday when I laid in a room and watched Ballers all night. I needed that, though. I needed that night.
Yeah.
And even then I thought about taking a walk, but everybody in St. Louis tells you not to walk around St. Louis. They act like it's a war zone.
Yeah, they weren't too. Didn't give me much confidence.
No, nothing there is. Well, we'll talk about it on the show. We'll talk about St. Louis on the show because there's a lot of stuff there that was interesting to me.
Okay. Yeah.
How has it been being home?
It was weird because I wanted to get a lot done, but I had to sleep for like 12 hours straight to get regulated.
Yeah.
And I was avoiding that. But so far so good. Actually, I'm like, I came back. I had to take my car in to get fixed. They gave me a Cadillac. So I've been driving a brand new fucking Cadillac with 8,000 miles on it around town. I just got tattooed today. So I came out of this thing like a king.
I've been feeling good. Like, I've been doing my walking. I've been getting up and doing my walking. which has been nice.
Sure.
Because it had been a while since I really went long hard. But
Yeah.
now my ankles hurt.
Oh,
I'm
no.
having sore ankles and shit. Well, it happens. Whenever I take like a week off and I get back to doing the hardcore stuff, plus my wife is like taking this class now at work. And when I walk home from work with her, I carry her backpack, which is generally just her clothes from work because she changes at work, and then a computer. But now it's got 3 books in it. So I'm carrying this
that's
backpack all the way home. I wear her backpack home, and it was like that was an arduous journey today. It was a lot of books. I'm kind. It's called chivalry. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do it. What did I do? I did. So I ran 4 miles. That kind of bumped up my steps earlier. It does count those. I didn't know if it counted runs or not. Definitely does. I'm doing all right. But I am trying to walk more. Me and Charlotte walked to Dairy Queen and then walked to her dance class. And then I rode my bike to the library. So I'm trying to stay off the gas as much as I can because it's about to be too cold to do all that shit all the time.
Yeah, I'm about to. I think I'm gonna buy a weight bench, and then do a treadmill when it gets too cold. But I usually walk until like the end of December, basically. Just like once it gets to be under like 30 degrees, I'm done. Like, but 30 degrees and or 36 degrees and up is fine. You know, I can handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have the best recipe for Lonnie Palmer's. 45 grams of kratom in 2 cups of water. You got to boil the water. You pour it over top. Let it sit for 15 minutes. Strain it into like a carafe. Take a cup of water, melt down like a 1/4 cup of sugar. Throw that in the mix. Add another cup of water, 3 lemons. You're done. It's easy. It's just basic lemonade mixed with kratom tea. And it's the shit. I love it.
It is good. I've tasted it.
I didn't have any when we were on the road because I was drinking booze instead, which was troublesome.
Yeah. Kratom is better than booze. All right, let me put this phone down.
Someone wants to know if you're wearing Adidas as a political statement.
If I'm wearing Adidas as oh my God, no, I'm wearing Adidas because I like Adidas. That's about it. And all day I dream about sports.
Right. Who doesn't?
Not sex, sports.
Just sports.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot
Nothing
of Ballers.
creepy. Oh, you're into sports.
Yeah, big time sports fan.
I like the psychology behind it, the deals behind the scenes.
You know what I love about Ballers is it actually has the most realistic depiction of like painkiller addiction I've ever seen.
Okay.
In like a TV show, because it's basically like The Rock chewing Vicodin, which is the low level stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
a lot of people don't get a lot of people move up in the kinds, but but he's chewing on Vicodin all the time, which I did. And he's also like, every time he goes to the doctor, he's like, I just really need help with this pain management. I'm just like in a lot of pain. My hip hurts. I got a lot of pain. And she's like, you want surgery? And it's like, I think we'll manage the pain for a while, then we'll get the surgery.
Yeah.
And like, he just is like spends so much time like trying, like the way that he talks to the doctor is kind of how I am too. It's always like, I always throw in, there's pain, and then a little bit of anxiety to see if I can't get some Xanax.
Sure.
I don't just be like,
keeping me
well,
up at night.
Elevated Xanax. Like, sometimes I'll get that elevated anxiety, but most of the time I can talk myself down. But sometimes I could use something, maybe a little situational. But I understand.
What's a Terry Palmer would be a Long Island iced tea, but made with kratom tea.
Okay. A Terry Palmer. Lonnie Palmer is such a good name. Lonnie Palmer should be Mountain Dew and kratom tea.
That's true, yeah.
God, we saw that guy in Minneapolis. He was drinking a Mountain Dew and had a Mountain Dew on his bike, and he was wearing all camouflage fatigues.
Yeah.
Like on a bike.
They had like a backpack, like a black leather backpack or something.
Yeah. That's the way it is, man.
Yeah,
These
he
guys
was
go for it.
Right, yeah. Through the mean streets on his fucking mountain bike.
So much Mountain Dew. It's good though. Mountain Dew's a fucking good drink.
It's great. It's sweet nectar.
It's one of the. I mean, it's probably my 3rd favorite pop. I think. I don't know though. Something just rocketed back into like the top spot last week when we were in
Pop
Minneapolis. Yeah.
What is it?
Cherry 7-Up.
Oh yeah, that was really
Holy
good. That was quite refreshing. That's medicine.
Yeah.
That cures what ails you.
That was nuts, man. I tried that shit and I was just like, whoa. This
Wow.
is
They still make this
great.
stuff?
Yeah. Well, I see it all the time, but fucking they've raised the prices a lot.
Yeah, it's
For
so
pop
unaffordable.
these days to $4.99.
Yeah.
12-pack. They used to
Oh,
be
yeah.
like around, like sometimes you could grab one for, and then they don't do the sales anymore the same way. So they'll be like, oh, you can get 3 for $11, but you have to buy 3. And I'm like, I want 36 pops in my house. Start giving my brain the wrong idea about how much pop I should be drinking.
Sure.
You can only have 12 at one time. Whew.
What else was I going to mention in this show? I couldn't forget about.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's been a good week. I got a lot of walking done. It seems like that shit from... You remember that movie, The Happening?
Yeah.
Where the trees made everybody violent?
Yeah.
I feel
Where
like that hit today.
Marky Mark tried to motherfucking reason with the trees.
Yeah, he cried to a tree. He went to a tree and he rubbed it and cried on it. Like, come on, tree. But so I feel like that hit today because, like, I was walking in downtown and there was traffic on 4th Street, which is a street. Maybe it was 3rd. The one that goes this way. The one that goes south, which
3rd.
I think is 3rd. So I'm walking across 3rd and there's traffic to get on the freeway because it's fucking downtown and like 1 million people work downtown and there's only like 3 or 4 roads out of town. So there's always going to be traffic there. If you work there, you should budget your time so that you know that you're going to be in traffic. And if you don't want to be in traffic, maybe take a bus.
Right.
Maybe try something like that. Try
Right.
something new. So like I'm walking and it must be because it's nice, but like people's windows were down and they were fucking screaming at each other. Like everybody was screaming at each other.
About
in
what?
This traffic. Everything. Like fucking, you know how sometimes, and this irritates the shit out of me too. I'm gonna fucking cop to this. This bothers me when somebody's waiting in traffic and they pull forward and then the light changes to red and then the people going the other way can't get through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They say don't block the box in a lot of major cities because that's like the box, and don't block that so people can get through.
I mean, the thing is when I'm like, you can't squeeze in on the yellow. Just don't squeeze on the yellow. Wait another light because it's going to be a fucking clusterfuck.
So 2 cars were out there right in the goddamn middle blocking both of the lanes going west, okay? On a major road. They're blocking both lanes so that nobody can drive west.
Are they putting their hands up and shit? Saying
They're
like,
doing
sorry.
that thing that like,
Sorry, I can't.
in their head.
Whoopsie daisy.
And this fucking woman pulls up right next to him, gets her car facing the side of him, like kind of like this, and she just lays on her horn.
Oh god. Oh god.
Like nobody can move. There's no like way to move, and she just lays on her horn until the traffic moves.
Oh my god. Goodness
I also
gracious.
saw like so there's a road here that has 2 lanes. And one of them is a lane that people can park in, and one is the lane that people can. But technically, if nobody's parked in that lane, you could drive in that lane, you know. But it's just not a no parking street. So most of the time, this road defaults to a 1-lane road. And these 2 cars are sitting at a light. One's in the lane that people park on. One's not. One's in the lane that people don't park on. I would call the one in the lane that people don't park on the responsible one. They're the Brian Quinby of this situation, the only responsible man on these streets. And so they're very responsible. And then the guy in the fucking lane with the car in the way, as soon as the light turns green, just jams on the fucking gas and cuts in front of her. And she just honked at him all the way down the street. And it's just like, has the window down. Fuck you, motherfucker. And I was just like, God damn. What's going on around here today? Why is everybody yelling and honking at each other?
People gotta learn. You never know who your teacher is going to be in situations like that.
So much inconsiderate traffic today, though. I saw so much. And then,
It's hell. It should ban cars. They shouldn't even be fucking around.
yeah. So then I'm walking through town. And I'm trying to get to pick up my wife, and I'm going to cut through what's called the Columbus Commons, a public park in Columbus, Ohio, like right in the middle of the city. It's a big, nice green space. There's shit. It's surrounded by condos. That's all gated off so they can do a slice of Columbus pizza contest, which, by the way, you have to buy tickets for, so you can go in and buy pizza. But let me tell you who won Slice of Columbus last year. Sbarro. So we shouldn't even be letting them hold that competition anymore.
Inadequate competition. Sbarro won best slice of Columbus in our local pizza competition, and I am ashamed to say that to all of the listeners.
I mean,
especially because we stand so hard for Columbus style pizza.
It's not our fault. Number one.
True. Thank you. I feel
This
like a burden has been lifted.
This was a thing that somebody put on that they must have, that you had to pay to get into. So it's obviously people who are willing to pay.
Yeah.
To go.
It's not cheap.
Pay for pizza.
How much is Slice of Columbus this
I don't
year?
know. It might even be $5. I don't know if you get the pizza for free once you get in there or whatever.
Yeah, I think you get to taste them all.
Okay, so you get to taste all the pizza, but it's the people that went to that thing. They taste this pizza and they pick Sbarro. Out of, like, that's not even like square. That pizza's cut in triangles. Like, a triangle pizza can't fucking win in Ohio. That's not how we eat our pizza here. It's not the way it works. I'm sick to death about that Sbarro thing. And then Sbarro, because this dumb, stupid, horrible event happened and Sbarro won, Sbarro has a billboard right in the middle of downtown Columbus that says that they won Slice of Columbus. Like, imagine pulling into a city and seeing that. I like Sbarro too. Think Thirsty in the chat said they like Sbarro. I'm going to agree with you. I was just telling my wife today, Sbarro is good. Chain pizza, of course. It's not bad chain pizza, but it should never win a contest ever. It's like,
I mean, I've done it on vacation or like when we have to stop, I'm not going to say it's inedible or anything or it's not good, but in this city, there's like, I have to pass like 4 other pizza places that I really fucking love to get it.
Yeah, you would, yeah. Jeffrey wants to know if Ohio is similar to Emo's, and Brett tried Emo's.
It is not anything like Emo's at all. We use provolone mainly. Like, that's the secret to our cheese, is that it's provolone and mozzarella and lots of shitload of oregano, sweet sauce. That's what people don't like. Some people say the sauce is too sweet. I see those complaints from outsiders. The crust is thin, but there is more density than Emo's, which Emo's was about the thinness of Rubino's. And Rubino's is a place that double rolls their dough. So, like, they roll it out to regular pizza thickness, and then they send it through one more time. So it was very different. The Provel cheese, I've never had anything like that on a pizza in my life.
And the face he's making indicates that it wasn't the best cheese he's ever had in his life.
It was, we had mushrooms and onions on it, and I think it all blended pretty well together, but it had like a soupy, gooey, like macaroni and cheese type consistency to it. And like, it kind of was like a shells and cheese. But there was some regular mozzarella. It was a blend of some sort. And I would get it again, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds bad.
If it was here, though, I don't know. I think I just know that everybody that tries it is going to think I'm fucking crazy for what I just said.
Yeah, Brett, I want to preface this by
like
saying
all
Brett,
flavors.
Brett likes all food.
I like
there's
every
no
flavor.
foods he doesn't like.
They all have something to offer to me.
Even if it's gross, he's like, "Oh, this is good," and like this is gross.
This is illuminating in the grossness department.
Brett likes an experience with food. Yes, Wrath from Angelo. Brett loves hound dogs. I'm not as big a hound dogs guy.
Hound dogs smoked mozzarella. That's what makes theirs good. And it's not Columbus style. It's triangle, but fucking smoked mozzarella that you can like taste.
Yeah. Somebody said all food. Emily said all food matters. That's Brett's.
Yeah.
That's Brett's philosophy.
Well, I don't like the cheap food.
Yeah, he won't eat any of the like Oreos or no shit like that. But basically, if you go to if it's in a restaurant that's not like a chain restaurant, Brett will eat it and say it's good, even if it's gross. Like he'll be like, "This is gross, but interesting." So it's very good.
Let's see what Slice of Columbus cost this year. I can't even find it. Come on.
Yeah,
man.
I was
this
furious.
Is bad. I'm trying to spend money, and now you can't. You're not letting me spend any money.
Yeah, Hound Dogs is pretty good. They're Smokin' Joe's. They have Smokin' Joe's crust.
That is a game changer.
and that's really good.
It's
But
garlic butter with Parmesan and spices, and they just like soak the crust. So you got like a fucking breadstick when you're done. And your hands are so greasy that your jeans just turn clear by the end of the night.
yeah, so if you come to Columbus and you want to try pizza, I mean, either text me and I'll get a hold of me and I'll tell you what to get, or I'll go get it with you. It's like Angie's Pizza. It's spelled
Angie's is great.
ANGES. Is probably my favorite pizza.
And that's
in town.
similar to Emo's too. Emo's was all over St. Louis, everywhere, only there. Angie's, there's like 6 or 7 of them. It's the squarest. It's square. They load on the cheese. They also, you got to have that well done cheese. There has to be like that brownness on the cheese. No soupy shit. That was different than the Emo's. You know?
And Ronies, the Ronies,
Or the little pepperonis too that
Yeah.
curl up. What are they called?
I don't know. They're I forget
That's
the
a
name of
certain
the
type
company,
of
but there's a
pepperoni.
company
Enzo's or something?
Enzo's or Enos or some kind of pepperoni. They're little tiny ones and they curl up and they fill with grease.
Little
and it
grease
rules.
cups. Yeah, they get like crispy around the edge.
We've heard of the cold mozzarella pizza. There's a place in
Steubenville.
Ohio that does that. Steubenville. They do that.
That's like
yeah.
Eastern Ohio. Pittsburgh also has taken it on. That's kind of all the same place. Western Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio are one big thing. I think we should make the journey. I want to do it, and maybe that's a reason to get out of the house when it's cold out or something.
I want to go to Made Right too.
Okay.
Which is a weird hamburger place. Actually, it's Loose Meat, which is like, come on with that name. Could you give it a flashy name?
No, you get what you get. I mean, it's honest. It's up front. It's no bullshit.
Like,
People are still going.
Loose Meat and Sloppy Joe are two names that, like, of sandwiches. Like, Sloppy Joe was something growing up that I was like, oh shit, we're having Sloppy Joes. These kick ass. I haven't had one since I was a teenager.
Oh,
Like,
you made Sloppy Janes, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I made vegetarian Sloppy Joe. I didn't
With
like
the
them.
lentils. I loved them. They were fucking good. I wish you'd make them again.
Yeah,
I love Sloppy Joes. Everybody always thinks they're gross, and I pine for them.
I know.
They're great.
We want to. Brett
They're
and
so
I,
cheap. The thing I do love about them too is they're just so cheap and easy to make too.
Brett and I want to someday, as like a comedy bit, as like a performance art piece, fill a wagon with Sloppy Joe and just let people bring their own containers and scoop it out and eat it for $2.
Yeah, just sell a scoop. Yeah, just let them take a scoop and just get a hot cup of Joe.
Yeah, come on. Who wants some Joe? Is what we would say. It's the Joe truck. I bet you if we went to a fucking hipster thing, like
Yeah.
a food truck festival, and did that,
They're
they'd
like-
be like, these two fucking dudes, one of them had a bunch of tattoos. It was just there selling Joe.
It had a wheelbarrow just full of it, and then we were like, "So what's the fuck up?" And it's like, grab a cup and fill it up.
Get that Joe, baby.
right.
I would make $1 zillion in a hipster neighborhood
Oh, yeah.
with that. Yeah, for sure. Like, I always think about that. Like, whenever you go to like a food truck festival and you find the food truck that's doing something that you're like, that costs $3 to
I
make.
know. We see the GFS stuff they have there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
anybody with a business account can get this shit.
Somebody said in Denver there are a ton of $1 per scoop Chinese restaurants.
Weird. Texas was filled with the buffets. Texas was real big into like $14 buffet, all you can eat.
I mean, we have them here, but they're mostly just the chains. Because, like, a lot of the people I grew up with used to go to, God damn, Jason, what was that one that was in a...
Zanesville has one.
What was that one that was in a place that used to be a funeral home over on the east side on Hamilton Road? This place used to be a funeral home, and then it closed down, and so they turned it into a fucking buffet.
Yeah.
Which might as well have kept it a funeral home, man, because if you're eating at one of those, they're going to have to wheel you in soon anyway.
Dude, Zanesville has a huge one, a huge Lucky Star buffet. I mean, all those small towns, man, there's some Chinese family that's crack-a-lacking, you know?
Buffet is like the one thing that I'm not street fight about. Like,
Yeah, I
I can't
don't
eat a motherfucking buffet. I can't do it. I cannot go.
I mean, if I had to, I would, but...
If I was starving and it was like the zombie apocalypse and the only place to go to get food was a buffet, Of course I would.
You wouldn't. You would be like, well, maybe there's another like, a cool restaurant down the road that hasn't been hit up yet.
Can we pass the buffet when we're walking down that Cormac McCarthy road?
Yeah.
We'll pass a buffet. We'll get to a buffet and everybody like, let's eat. And I'm like, there's probably something like cooler, like 2 blocks down.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of wanted pizza.
No, dude. No. This person said their old roommate worked at Golden Corral and he claimed everything was made fresh. And there is not even a fucking possibility you can make that kind of fucking food fresh. CC's is disgusting, Jeffrey. That is, I had
CC's is hell, never CC's.
When I worked when I worked at the cable company, people would always be like, you guys want to go out to lunch? And I'd be like, sure. Like, where do you want to go get lunch? And I'm like, I'm not talking something expensive. I'll get a Subway or something like that. And be like, CC's, you can have as much as you want. And I'm like, yeah, so I went and I got the pizza buffet and I ate 1 piece of pizza and drank a pop and was like, this stuff fucking sucks.
I did the same exact thing when I worked at the tech recycling place. That guy used to take us out for lunch whenever he made a whole bunch of money off of us. He'd be like, I want to take you all out to eat, you know? And so we went, and he was like, we're going to CC's today. And I was already in the truck, and I was like, no, I don't want to go to fucking CC's. And we show up. I ate 1 piece of pizza. I was like, this is just dog food. Gross. And I didn't, and they were just like, Brett, what the hell's wrong with it, Brett? You know, just like they started like egging me on, you know, ain't good enough for vegetarians.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's the day he decided he hated you, probably.
No, I mean, he was trying to be good sport about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You should have just said it's not good enough for humans.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, I just can't
sir,
fuck with this, dude.
Sir, it's not good enough for dogs.
Yeah. All right, so it's 9:30, time for the giveaway. For those of you that are just addicted to gambling and wanted to see if you could win a prize, this week we are giving away, you get the number 1, the very first Gumball t-shirt that we make will be yours. So the winner of tonight's lottery, I'll put your name down for the first shirt. The rest of you'll get discount codes and everything else tomorrow is when we're going to do the official launch of it. So that's coming to your Patreon. And we have, do you need everybody to type everything, or can you just grab all their names who's in the chat? Okay, yeah. So the way it works, I'm going to give you one last second if you're listening right now. We can only grab your name if you participated in the chat. So if you haven't typed at all, then do like an exclamation point or something to make sure that you get registered into the lottery. Jason is going to pull all your info. We're going to spin the wheel and see who gets this shirt. You will also have the option of either an injury to Gumball is an injury to all, or we are also making the same one that says Gumball is a stupid asshole. So it will be either of those, and stickers as well. But I'm finally excited to get this shirt out. It's going to be good. We got some exclamation points coming in. I didn't know how much of a lag there is. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you showing up for the live show early. I hope you had fun chatting, getting that exclusive content. We're coming to a city near you. Right? I promised a guy I would go to Iowa, and I went to fucking Iowa. Can you believe that? I got to meet him too, Justin. Super cool dude. He was very nice, kind of straight edge, but hip and interesting guy. Yeah. I was trying to convince him to do psychedelics, because everybody should. All right, you got this. We're working on it. We got all the names, people. Coming to Wisconsin. I don't know. Brian and I, we are trying to put together a Wisconsin Dells thing. And I mean, maybe we could do the indoor water. No, we want to do it when there's outdoor water parks too. We want maximum water parks. Are you guys more Texas than Austin? Yes. The plan for Texas is to fly into Austin because it's super cheap. Rent a car, drive it up to Dallas, drive it over to Houston, and drive it back to Austin and fly back. That is probably going to happen when it's fucking cold outside. So that way we can get away from the fucking cold, because I need that. Yeah, we're gonna get to DFW for sure. I have a lot of friends there that I want to see. I have some buddies that I want to do drugs with.
His
So,
old boss.
yeah, I got to go see that. I got to go tell that guy to suck my dick. Stupid boss for taking me to CC's.
What? CC's ain't good enough for you, vegetarian boy?
What was he went off on the weirdest tangent one time about like growth hormones in chickens and how he didn't care about it. And he thought it was ridiculous that they were talking about it on the radio.
What
He's
the
like,
hell? I love the chicken. Chicken's bigger now. Look at
Right.
how big them tenders are.
Yep, that's exactly what he was like.
You
What? I don't give it. I heard somebody this morning talking about, well, they don't like what's in the chicken, you know? Well, I don't care what's in the chicken. That's what we always say. I don't care what's in the chicken. Why are we talking about this on the air? You care, you know, I don't care. You know, he's just like, I'm going off at me about it because I brought like hummus to fucking lunch and shit, you know? I'm eating like loose nuts and granola and he's like just fucking seething on the inside.
He's so fucking happy that like now a chicken tender is the size of what an old chicken breast used to be.
Right.
That he's like, don't change it, goddamn.
Yeah, don't we need GMO.
Keep that off the goddamn radio. I want the chicken breasts to keep getting bigger. I would eat a Godzilla chicken.
They should make him as big as a horse.
We'll come to the East Coast again, trust me. We want to do Boston and Maine and shit like that, but that's probably going to have to come when it's warm, so.
You ready to roll this?
Very shortly.
Okay.
God damn, that boss kills me, man.
Shout out to ABO Comics. They did the prisoner strike wrestling zine that you can get in the Street Fight store.
ABO Comics, baby. Ooh, a text.
Oh, interesting. The plot thickens.
Oh, my God.
Goodness gracious. All right, we're getting close, people. It's almost time to spin that wheel. We're still learning how to automate this thing. Come to New Jersey. Right? New Jersey sounds fun.
I mean, I would like to do
That
Boston,
the eastern
Maine,
corner. Maybe
Philly
next summer when it's
stuff.
not cold
When it's
there.
warm, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to Boston when it's cold fucking ever. All right, folks, we got that wheel. We're ready to see who wins the very first Gumball shirt that goes into production. Dun, 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 dun. James Green.
James Green, you've won a Gumball shirt.
You won the Gumball
That's the
shirt.
best prize we've given, probably.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting. So
wow, I love spinning the wheel and making the deal.
yes, you can send me a message on Patreon. I'll look your stuff up. Well, just message me on Patreon and let me know who you are and what size you need and all that stuff. And also which one you want. Gumball is a stupid asshole or an injury to Gumball is an injury to all.
We have both Gumballs. Yeah, Justin, you did almost get it, but now you're going to have to pay for a shirt like all the rest of the ham and eggers.
We are taking pre-orders for the shirt starting tomorrow. I have most of the posts written up. I'm going to share it. You will be able to buy Gumball shirts starting tomorrow. Pre-order them for a cheaper price than when they go on sale.
You want the Lucian, do you want the Gumball shirt that says Gumball's a stupid asshole? Because that's the one I want to wear too. I'm logged in as Gwen
Nice.
in this room.
All right, folks.
Let's start the show,
Ready
man.
to start this show?
Let's start the radio freaking show. I got Spider-Man to play. I gotta kill some drug dealers.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Of course wasn't ready. I was trying to do that thing for. All right, you ready, Jason? You gonna do the animation and all that? All right, you ready? Let's do this. Oh wait. Hey, Street Fighters. What the fuck is up? Thanks for being here. Hope you're glad that we're back, because we are certainly glad to be here. It's been a while, but we did leave triumphantly from the Midwest of the country. with a whole bunch of new friends. And good times. We had a great time on the road. We'll get into that. For those of you that don't know who we are, my name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quimby. We're Street Fight Radio, #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. And we are here to spread dissent and disruption to every corner of the flat earth. We want the working people of the world to rise up and create a calmer, more sustainable world, leaving behind the rich capitalists that want to destroy everything in their path. So we are starting very small. It's just this little operation out of our basement. We're growing stronger and stronger every single week, but we are close to satisfaction. Probably within like the next 2 years, I think we'll see the fall of the United States and the rise of the People's Workers Party that parties more than works.
Yeah, I don't think that's what party means, Brett.
Well, I mean like party on like booze and drugs.
Yeah, party like booze and drugs.
Yeah. You can find the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Podcatcher, all of that. And if you want bonus content, we have a Patreon. It's a website where you can support the artists that you like. For $1 a month, you get extra shows. For $3 a month, you get a digital copy of our zine that we write every single month. This month, you're getting the punk zine, right?
Yeah.
This is the punk zine. You're going to get the digital copy of that this month. And for $5, you can watch us do the show. For $8, you get that zine sent to your house. So lots of options to support the show. When you're ready to do so that we can spread this mess across the U.S., head over to patreon.com/StreetFightRadio.
Yeah, the bonus shows. Get over there and get them bonus shows. They're fun.
They're worth it.
They're very fun. And we got some cool ones coming up. So,
yeah, there's some good ideas. I got bombarded by more than 3 people about doing a krautrock show, so that's definitely something I'm going to do.
That's cool. And we'll maybe get our country music show done.
That'll be fun too, yeah.
That we've always wanted to do. We talk about country music a lot when we're on the fucking road, and we always talk about doing a show, but then we forget. So we're back. We're back in town. The boys are back in town. The town of Columbus,
Ohio. Spread the word around.
It was fun, though. It was cool to go see. I don't know. It was fun to go see parts of the country I've never seen. You know?
Yeah, that is true. I never had any idea how I would make myself to Minneapolis or Des Moines or any of those places. I went to St. Louis for band when I was a kid.
Yeah. Here's the thing about it. I guess we just start out. We did Chicago first. And it was a fun weekend. We had our families with us. It was more of a family vacation.
Yeah.
And we had a really good time. Stayed in a nice hotel. And we enjoyed Chicago, right?
I had a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
Good food. We went to that happy place, that like Instagram trap. That was a lot of fun. The girls like ate it up, so I loved it too. It was a lot of fun. It was cool, you know.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of, you can take
yeah, it's like basically, so it's rooms that they just put up like wallpaper and like hang like mirrors, or have like a wall full of rubber duckies, and you can like pose inside of a tub and have like a room full of rubber duckies surrounding you. They had a giant pot of gold that was like filled with yellow ball pit with like a rainbow over it, and you could dive into it. And they had like folks on hand to take like Instagrams and snaps and boomerangs and all of that for you.
We should open one of those for us, but all the rooms is just a different pile of trash.
Yeah, arranged in different ways.
Like a table with like bongs and stuff on it, and like ashes all over the place that you can smoke in.
Yeah. A bunch of leftover. Basically, we could just do like leftover trash rooms.
Yeah, just a bunch of rooms with trash.
Different kinds of trash.
And our listeners will all get in.
A bunch of those
we could recreate the old Street Fight picture that's up in the store where we're sitting at a table and a gross picnic table with a bottle of piss on it.
Yep, we could find an old wrought iron patio furniture, and then you could sit on it and take a picture and make it look like you're in like a bombed out husk of civilization.
Let's fucking do that, man.
We paid a lot of money. It was a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to say.
Okay. Well, that's how much we're charging to get into this thing.
You'll be embarrassed.
You'll be embarrassed to say how much you paid to get in.
Well, and you know, but actually I was kind of did an asshole thing, because when I was in there, I was like, I mean, this is just sheets hanging from the wall, you know? But my wife did remind me, she was like, well, somebody has to do all that. And I'm like, you're right. This seems like a lot of fucking work, and I'm never going to set up like a confetti they had like a big giant snow globe you could get inside of that was filled with confetti that flew everywhere.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I'm just not going to be able to do that.
When we do ours, we're gonna have that money machine.
Well, yeah, yes. We need to find an old money machine.
We do.
And bring it on tour with us.
We should be buying like as soon as possible. When there's a Street Fight office, there's definitely going to be one of those money machines. I always wanted to be in one.
We need to get a van that has a hitch on it so that we can pull a trailer with a money machine on it.
I mean, we don't need to tour like a band with all that stuff.
No, just one money machine.
We got room. Just me, you, and a money machine.
Yeah, dude. Well, I think that's a great idea. That's a good idea. I think it would go over well. There's not many other acts doing that.
There's never been a place where the money machine didn't go over well. What if you're not sure what we're talking about because you're a millennial and money machines have gone out of style?
I've been in a money machine myself.
You've been in one?
Yeah,
I could never get in one.
The Fox Kids Club used to have a kids convention for free downtown. Basically, it was a place where all of the fruit snacks and sugary juices could advertise to you and give you like a bag full of free shit.
Perfect.
But they had a raffle, and I am one of the luckiest people on the planet. So as a kid, I want to go in the money machine. Yeah. It was a tough one though because. So what it was is it's a box that you stand in. There's like a fan underneath you. Then money starts swirling around you. But you had to grab it and you had to put it in these little slots that were inside. And it was so hard. You had to like inchworm your fingers in, you know?
Yeah. If you're watching in the chat, the money machine is in the chat so that people can see what a money machine looks like.
Yeah, the live stream has a picture.
Well, my God. Brett, we got to stop. For our happy place thing, Think Thirsty just had the perfect thing.
What is it?
A Pontiac Grand Am that you can sit in.
Oh, that would be great.
Also,
with cigarette burns in the top,
the service engine soon light is always on,
always blinking. It'll be like an art. It's art. It's what it is. It's called art. It's folk art.
Yeah,
we're two untrained artists.
Yeah,
blink, 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 and just broken power windows. Just a power window motor that's just going. We'll rig it up to like just run at half speed.
None of my Grand Dams I ever owned. Not a single one.
That was it's working light.
Yeah. Oh, well, at least it turned on. The service engine light's on right now. Passenger window is always taped shut because they never work. The
motors, dude.
Was just in Brett's shit about like complaining to Brett for like hours the other day about this. That back when I was like in the early 2000s, late 90s or so, anytime I went to buy a car, I would be like, I don't want fucking power windows. And they couldn't believe it. The car salespeople just like, what do you mean you don't want power windows? And I'm like, I never in my life had a car where the power windows didn't break. Right. I have one now. They haven't broken yet. But I don't trust them.
Yeah, I mean, they will. They'll fail on you.
I remember we used to have this Nissan, and the window would only go down if I jammed a butter knife into the thing and, like, pulled on it. So we kept a butter knife in the fucking car. Yeah. And then one time it just stopped doing it, and my wife was out at a bar, and she's like, the car is downtown. We can't just leave the windows down. And I was like, I mean, you're going to have to because I ain't going down there and getting it.
We got to leave the windows open car.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it, but...
I had like an 86 Nissan Stanza hatchback. It was pretty slick back in the day, like when it came out. So it had the electric windows up and down. I did it one time on the passenger side, and that shit just like fell straight into the door. And then I just put it back up and was like, do not do that ever again.
Well,
those windows do not go down.
The shittiest thing is like everybody that drives a Grand Am smokes too. And when the windows won't go down, it's always like you're trying to like the smoke has to travel either in front of the driver or the passenger.
Yeah, no, it's just filling.
Usually you're the passenger and the driver's smoking a cigarette and the smoke is just coming across to go out the window on your side where it works. But yeah, we'll have to look into that because just open the door real quick.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's how you take care of that.
Grand Dams are the shittiest cars, and they're the most street fight
they
car.
shouldn't have made them.
If we ever get an official business car, a company car for Street Fight, it's got to be a red and black Grand Dam.
That's a good idea.
Because that is that.
We can get one for each of us. I buy a black one, you buy a red one, and we just like swap the parts on it.
Yeah. That is the most. If you want to know what our aesthetic is, like what the Street Fight aesthetic is, it is a red and black Grand Dam. Basically, we're both.
That's
people,
what I grew up in.
We're both people. I've owned 3 Grand Dams.
Goddamn.
I've
owned none. That was my parents. My parents did that.
Yeah, I got one time that I was paying $136 every 2 weeks.
We had
for.
2 Grand Dams growing up, actually.
Yeah,
a teal one and a maroon one. That's the only colors they made them in, right?
Yeah. I had a teal one, and I had a red one, and I had an Achieva. Achieva is also a Grand Dam.
The silver Grand Dams too. I remember I had a boss with a silver Grand Dam GT that she was paying out the nose for.
Yeah.
$600 a month or something.
That's what I'm saying.
A brand new one.
I was paying $136 every 2 weeks for this Grand Dam. Whew. And when I got it, every time I stopped at a traffic light, the fucking thing would just stall, and it would be really hard to turn it back on. So
normal.
Yeah, just
the car's like, oh, I need a rest.
Yeah. So I drove. Oh, I've seen silver ones too, Brian. Yeah. I drove to the place, and I was like, this thing keeps stalling. And they're like, well, we just drove it around and didn't stall once.
Oh God.
Which is the worst feeling in the world, especially because at the time I was a cable guy. So like that whole thing is a real pain in the ass when they were like, my internet doesn't work. And then you get there and you're like, well, it's working now. So I don't really fucking know how to fix it if it's working. And it's kind of the same thing with cars. But then they finally replicated the problem, and I spent I remember $400 one time for them to fix it, and they replaced some part. And I spent like $300 for them to fix it. They replaced some part. And we're talking about money that I did not fucking have. I was so fucking broke at the time that it was catastrophic every time I had to pay to get that fucking car fixed. It just threw everything out of balance. It was like hustle fest of the year when that car broke down, because it was like, okay, how are we going to get money? How are we going to get $200? We got to sell the Wii.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in this house we can fucking sell? Is there a game system? Is there some games? Do we still have any CDs? Do we have any DVDs?
Right.
You know, can we call somebody and borrow money? Do you know of anybody who's like living high on the hog? Because most of my friends didn't even have any fucking money.
Yeah.
So this Grand Dam, finally, we take it to the place, and they're like, shit. You know what? And I bought this from JD Byrider. Okay?
Yeah,
that was a mistake. JD Byrider was a huge fucking mistake. But I bought this thing from JD Byrider. I take it back to JD Byrider, and they're like, guess what? We found out what the fucking problem was. And I was like, okay, cool. You're going to, what's the problem? He was like, there's 4 engine mounts, and 3 of them are rusted through and broken. So the motor's just fucking flopping around in there and turning off when you're driving. And I was like, can you like fix that? I was like, can you go ahead and fix it? They were like $1,100. So I had to go to my bank and take out a $1,100 loan on top of my fucking car loan.
Wow.
2 months after I bought the car.
Wow.
And pay for that to get fixed. So I was paying both a car loan and a signature loan at the same time.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God.
It was
hurts.
Fucking nightmare period of my life. Like when I went originally, I was like, I don't want a high car payment. And they were like, well, let's see what we can do. And they're like, well, we've looked at your budget. We looked at how much you made. We looked at how much your wife made. And then they had us fill out this form that talked about, you know, have you eaten, how much fast food do you eat? Do you smoke?
Right.
Do you drink?
Right.
Just questions like
everything.
That. So we like kind of answered those questions. And they said, if you ate fast food 3 times less, because I was eating it 7 days.
Yeah, like that's dinner. That's not fast. That's called dinner.
Yeah, like all my meals I was getting there. And they were like, if you cut down to eating fast food 3 times a week and quit smoking, we could get you in this Saturn over here for $300 every 2 weeks. And you could afford that. And I was like, I can't afford
No
that.
way.
Like,
I can't afford to quit smoking.
I'm never gonna do any of those things.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, I never got caught up into one of those.
I mean, they made you watch a video. So when you signed your contract, so you had the guy that took you through your budget, where you filled out all the stuff, where all your money goes, how much money you make, me and my wife, and then they run both of your credit.
Yeah.
And then they just figure out which person has the better credit that they can put the car in their name.
Right.
And then they do all the stuff. And they like then it ended up being me. They took me into a room for like I think like for like an hour and a half. And to watch a bunch of videos about contract law and shit like that of course I wasn't paying attention to. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know? And I just signed the papers and I left. And like you
God
couldn't
damn.
even be like.
And they threw you in a car with 3 fucking rusted engine mounts.
Yes, they did throw me in a car with 3 rusted engine mounts. I mean, like my theory is that because this happened right after Katrina, and I think they got a bunch of cars that were in
makes
Katrina.
sense. I could see that.
And cleaned them up and were
that.
selling them on that lot.
I always got my cars was just basically tax returns. And I'm thinking of like 3 cars now that it was just like my dad always knew somebody because he worked he was a welder. So all those guys would somehow get extra cars or like, you know, they didn't do drugs and shit. They were like trading like riding lawnmowers for like Camaro bodies and shit. You know what I mean? Just junk collector type guys. And so I would be like, man, if you got $900, I can find a car that runs, you know.
Yeah. That was kind of
for a year.
I had a lot of guys that could work on cars, so when they broke down, a lot of times I could get it fixed. But once you got to that period where like you're buying Grand Ams, and then once the cars get just a little bit newer, people that know how to work on cars can't even work on them. They're like impossible to fucking work on.
Yeah, I think what happened with me is that I fucked up my very first auto payment because I went way too high. I tried to get I got an Audi A4, and it was just way too expensive, and I couldn't keep up with it. And I was also wasting my money on other stuff way faster than I was paying the bills. And I had to run away from collections on that for a good amount of time. Kept the car hidden like 9 months longer than when they were supposed to repo it.
That's a good 9-month run though.
Right. But after that, I was just like, I just got into the thing where I'm like, I don't want to go through the whole rigmarole signing up for payments ever again. Like it's not for me. And now I know they're going to say no because I fucked it up real bad. And so I think that got me through a lot of stuff where it was just, I found other ways to do it without getting totally fucking abused like that. That's fucking crazy. The JD Byrider shit is nuts.
The buy here, pay here stuff is really rough. And I mean, that's a lot of people's only option. That's why the actual end game of this, the dream of like, if I ever make enough money to do real, like hardcore community service, like my thing is going to be a place where people can get where working class people can get their goddamn cars fixed.
Yeah.
Because that is like, I just so much fucking trauma tied up into that thing that like, I'll just never forget what it would feel like to be standing on the side of a fucking road with a broken car, not knowing what it was, and then having to go and like talk to somebody like, what is this going to cost me? How much is this going to cost, when you don't have any wiggle room in your fucking paycheck? Like, that's my dream. My real fucking dream is like to open up a place that like working class people can get their goddamn cars fixed.
Yeah, it's needed. Yeah, I remember being like super fucked up and like having somebody call in the middle of the night and being like, I'm stuck on the side of the road and I have nobody else to call, and like going up there with my eyes glued shut, like screaming on the side of the freeway, what the fuck is wrong with it? And they're like playing around with it, you know, doing anything they can to get the fucking thing to turn over. And it's just, it sucks. Right. Because then it's like you have to have so much money. Like you're going to need a lot of money immediately.
At least like $400, $500.
Everything's on the line, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Your job is definitely on the fucking line. I mean, like if you live in Columbus, Ohio, and that's really one of the things, man. Brett and I, when we were out of town, like, okay, we were in Minneapolis, and they had public transportation that looked pretty decent. They had like a train, you know, they had public transportation in Chicago. And like we don't have it here.
We need it.
We need it
sorely,
desperately.
And that's the thing is, you know, I really do like those riding those scooters around, and a lot of people I think are using them, and hopefully it's saving them from firing up an internal combustion engine to drive down to fucking Jimmy John's or wherever they're going to get lunch at. But those things are just so unsustainable because it's just the whim of this fly-by-night company. You know, this isn't like real infrastructure. The best the city can do now is raise money by fining people that are riding the scooters wrong, or by like getting taxes and going after these companies that are providing these scooters. That's how they're going to raise money. They're not going to spend any real money on like a permanent competitor that isn't, you know, as fucking fly by night.
Right. The scooters and the bikes, all that stuff seems like such a great deal until you realize the people that are running them are dipshits. You know what I mean? And that are just going to disappear. Brett was using those cars to go. They have this like program that are these little these little smart cars that were just kind of parked all over the city. And you could go grab one, you could reserve it, go grab one, and you could drive just within the city. You couldn't go too far in them.
They had pretty good deals on the full day though.
But they were useful. Like it was useful for Brett, but then the company was just like, we're not going to do this anymore. We don't have this. And that, like, imagine being a person who was like, I'm just going to depend on this as my transportation to work, and then having to figure out something new the day that company folds up and leaves.
Yeah, and it was within it was 2 weeks. It was like it got announced, then it got moved up, and then it was gone. And I mean, it's like now I have to find something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that like we could be so
they've added circulator buses, I guess. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
It's going to take more than buses. I mean, the thing that I noticed when we were in different cities really big is that, like, why don't we have those double buses with like the accordion? Like, we have the amount of people that are in some of those cities that have them. You know,
do we have that many riders though? I don't think is overcrowding a problem.
Overcrowding on the buses. I mean, if you get on the number 1 downtown, you're definitely not sitting down. And I have been very packed in that bus before.
Yeah, they should.
And like there are just some heavily ridden buses where like there's not enough space. I also think that people don't take buses seriously as a form of mass transit.
No,
I think
and they're fucking wonderful.
I think it needs to be on a rail or some sort of thing. I just don't think that people are going to take buses. They feel unmoored or something like that. Like they could go off their route. I don't know what it is.
Well, we have a bunch of like zero emissions one now too. They have been upgrading the fleet here in Columbus, but it still doesn't provide like that every 10-minute service that you get from like rail, you know?
Yeah.
Because Dallas had a really good one. Dallas was great, and a lot of people used it, and I loved it. I like the bus though because it's like when you're driving to work, you can't Instagram, you can't read a book, you're missing out on posts, you're not looking at any of the hashtags. Like, if I hate driving so much, when we're somewhere and I get on my phone, she's like, "Why are you on your phone?" I was like, "You were Instagramming in the car for 25 minutes while I was driving it, okay?"
Yeah.
I missed out on phone time.
You missed out on so many posts and hashtags.
But yeah, seriously,
viral videos.
I mean, you can read books. 45-minute on a bus is like a way to get through some motherfucking books. It's peaceful, and I love it.
I guess that's kind of an issue here, is that like the buses do take a lot longer.
It seems
here than in other places, because I know that like
it always makes me groan whenever I'm like, I'm going to take the bus tomorrow, and it's like, I got to be ready an hour. I got to be out there 1 hour before I get to get like just to a place that's not even that far. To get to when I used to go to Planned Parenthood, to take the bus there was an hour.
Yeah,
and that was over in Main Street in like Whitehall.
I wanted to take Gwen to the zoo one time during the day, and I woke up at like 9:30 and I checked to see how long it would take to get to the zoo, and it was 4.5 hours on a bus. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that.
Wow.
Like, that's half the goddamn day right there.
No, we ain't doing that.
It's just, I don't know. I think more buses would be great. More routes. They're also in Ohio and Columbus. It seems like they're not geared toward getting people from the suburbs here and getting them back out to the suburbs. And I think that's an issue. And that's why things like subways are so good, because the whole job of that fucking subway is to get people from the suburbs into the middle of the goddamn city.
So they can go stare at a screen all day.
And then back.
Stare at a bad screen.
And I think that's how it needs to be fucking set up in all these places.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we're missing out.
We are missing out. It sucks.
But we had I never thought I would see some of those places, like you said. We had Chinese food on a pizza in Des Moines, Iowa, which was a crazy experience.
That was good.
I loved it.
Yeah, crab rangoon pizza. Des Moines was great. Des Moines was really fun. A weird city to me.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so like we got there at 3:30, which in most places there's people at work in downtown, like that are working.
Yeah. I thought there'd be some hustle and bustle.
There wasn't any hustle and bustle. And there was nobody on the streets for the rest of the night. And I like started to get worried, like, does anybody come here? And then we did the show and people showed up and we talked to them after the show. And I was like, hey, is there like a cool neighborhood that everybody's hanging out in right now or that we could go to? And they're like, no. They just laughed at me. I was like, I was very like plain.
They keep to themselves out there.
Very
not trying to stir the pot.
Yeah.
There were some good shows that were coming through at that place. Vaudeville Muse was a really cool venue, and I was honored to be on the same wall, our poster on the same wall as a lot of those other bands. Big Business was playing there. Super Suckers were doing like a 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
The Body was playing there.
The
Hoteliers were playing the next night.
Street Fight
Radio played there.
Well, I think that place was so cool. I think that's the funny thing is like when you talk to people about going to different cities, because like I guess like one of my kind of goals is to just go to every cool city in the United States. And I don't give a shit if it's New York or Chicago or Asheville or Des Moines. I want to see the cool part of every city. And I saw a pretty cool, like that street in Des Moines that we were hanging on was fucking cool.
I saw a lot of neon lights and shit. Yeah, there was definitely some places to get in some trouble.
Well, there's cool people. I think the point, especially with this tour that I saw, is that there's fucking cool people everywhere. Like nice, cool people, radical people with radical politics.
Yep, in the middle of cornfields.
In the middle of everything. And I think that made me feel real good to even see how passionate people were and how they showed up to the shows and chanted to kill people and stuff like that. Like that was impressive to me. And then after we hit Des Moines, which was, like I said, fun city. Well, it was okay.
Yeah.
There was a train right outside of our hotel room.
Oh, yeah.
We could have kicked it from the front door of the hotel.
Did we talk about what we did in Minneapolis?
I mean, I thought we did, yeah.
Oh,
we did laundry.
The laundry.
We did.
It was a wild. I just want to say real quick, it was a wild place where when we went there was a change machine, and I put $1 in, and it didn't accept it. And then there was one right next to it, and I noticed the one I was trying to put my $1 in had a service light on. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll use this one. Went to use it, did not work. So we're walking around. I finally, in the back corner, I find one more change machine. I put in my $1, and it does nothing at all. So then we asked the guy that works there, and he's like, oh, shit, you know what? I'll get a repairman. He's on the way. I'll get a guy over. He's going to fix it.
I'll call the change guy.
I'll call the change guy who's going to come and fix it. But until then, maybe like you could go to Walgreens or something, you know, like maybe you could just ask them, see if they'll do it for you. I was like, all right, that's what we'll do. So we walked down there and did it. And that change guy never fucking came.
No, the change guy never showed up. But we did get our laundry done there. It was a wild laundromat, but it was fun.
There was a Super Mario Brothers cabinet where all of the characters' faces were like had paint splattered all over it. And there was no screen. It was just a piece of plywood.
Yeah.
With no controls. And on the wall, there was a dolphin mural that someone had scribbled all over the face of the dolphin.
I like laundromats.
I do too. It was a great environment. I mean, it was way more exciting than where I clean my clothes now.
Is laundromat like the type of place that like really gives you memories of being younger and stuff, because I loved the laundromat when I was a kid because it fucking had video games. It might as well have been a video arcade.
Well, that's the thing, is you remember when that Super Mario screen wasn't a piece of plywood. That's why you like it, but it was a piece of, kids can't really play with that. I guess they have an iPad. It's a place to play your iPad then.
Yeah, I don't think any kids go to, well, that's dumb to say, but I just don't think as many people go to laundromats now. It's not, I mean, that's like a 20-year-old thing to do. More than it's like like, I don't know. It seems
for
like
places, if you don't, I mean, there's lots of places where you have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have a hookup.
Yeah, I used to do it when I was heavy into laundromats when I was in my 20s.
Sure.
Like, I was just going
We've
to
just grown out of it.
Yeah, well, I have a laundry machine now.
Right.
That doesn't mean I'm never going to laundromat again. That thing's going to break. It's gonna stay in my basement for a year because I only buy used washers and dryers.
I'm in the stage where I go to a dry cleaners that has been there for like 60 years. It's run by a guy that wears a bowling shirt, and it has like motivational posters like fading out in the sun and like just crumpling off the walls.
Okay,
like it's wild fucking place. But they clean shit pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a laundromat guy. So yeah, I liked Minneapolis and Des Moines quite a bit. It rained the whole time we were there, so there wasn't a ton that we could do.
We ate good. I had a beet Reuben in Minneapolis. That was fucking good.
I had a cheeseburger that was way too tall.
Oh, you had the craziest cheeseburger. Yeah,
I was fucking furious.
They were like showing off or something.
But I'm not going to name names on this restaurant because it seemed like a good restaurant. Brett liked his food. I don't think it was a bad restaurant. It's just don't make fucking 1 foot tall cheeseburgers.
Yeah, they took like 4 onion rings and stacked it on top of the patty, and then put the bun on top of that with like a gigantic like skewer, like a long one, shish kebab shit. And so when you smashed it down, it just turned into mush.
Yeah, it was pointless. I don't need no goddamn fucking giant cheeseburger.
We also, Kansas City, best smelling place I've been in my fucking life.
Yeah.
It smells like open pit barbecue everywhere.
Yeah, it smells good. It is like just barbecue city. It's the best smelling city in America, I think.
And I had a barbecue jackfruit. That was the shit. Sandwich.
Although I was told that in Iowa, Ames, Iowa, I believe, they make the crunch berries there, and whenever they're making the crunch berries, the whole town smells like crunch berries, which sounds like a pretty goddamn cool place.
Yeah, that sounds like a big plus.
Yeah, it was a big plus. But then we got to St. Louis, which was that was the part of the trip where I think I was tired, I would say.
Well, yeah, we had a day off though. Actually, I was not tired. I felt pretty energized. In Kansas City, I was like really worn out, and I was glad we got the day in between because I was going into St. Louis like with a lot of energy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't have any energy the night before. I basically got to St. Louis and laid in a hotel room. Well, first of all, St. Louis is kind of weird. Like, if you go to the Yelp pages to look for their food, it's all got bad reviews.
Yeah.
It's like out-of-towners maybe come in and just rate everything badly because they don't like the food.
I don't know. They'll get killed by Chicago people, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, because Chicago people and St. Louis people hate each other, apparently.
There's a blood feud.
That was part of the thing. But, yeah, so I laid in a room and watched Ballers all night and had room service the first night we were there. But then the second night we were there was the night of the show. And people watched it happen on Twitter, right? People watched a lot of what happened with the show on Twitter. We didn't really explain ourselves very much.
I didn't tweet about it, did I?
I tweeted about it.
Okay.
Of course, I tweet about everything ever.
Okay.
But I guess we should explain what happened here. This is the radio we've been wanting to do since Saturday.
Yeah, I was very frustrated because we have done all the shows that since back to 2016, right?
Yeah.
And every single place we've went to, they have 2 microphones. They usually have 4 microphones. Most don't have like a full setup for like a drum kit and shit, but they always have microphones. We show up and we said we need 3 microphones, and she said, well, we don't have microphones.
Yeah. Which was like alarming to me.
Yeah.
It was like, why wouldn't you have did you book a show here? Did we call you and ask if we could do a show here?
Right. And then she said, well, well, all I have is speakers. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Because I'm like, can we get microphones? Do you have a mixing board? And she's like, well, we have a mixer, but I don't know if it works. I'm like, I don't fucking trust this at all.
Yeah.
So I was like, we're going to have to do a yelling show, basically.
Yeah, we started to talk about canceling it, but we didn't get to the show until like 7:15, and the show started at 8. And it's at this bar called Propaganda in St. Louis. It is
a fucking terrible bar.
It is. Yeah.
It's so the theme of it is like propaganda. Outside they have a big a big sickle and hammer that Brian took a picture of.
Which was cool. It's a big metal steel hammer and sickle right out in front of the place, and it looks very fucking cool and stylish.
Yeah.
But
and on the inside they have a bunch of posters. But they also have on the wall, they have an apology for all of the communist propaganda.
Right. So there's communist propaganda posters all over the wall.
Including, and there was American propaganda. It was from like all over the world.
Right. And there was a really cool one that was about punching your boss. It said like, don't punch, like remember to, I don't remember. But there was just all of this like, there was really cool Soviet stuff there, and they were showing Soviet cartoons, and they had like a Soviet, like they had a soldier, like a mannequin in the front with a Soviet soldier's uniform on, like a very cool, I guess, kind of concept idea.
Sure.
I guess
nice. It was I mean, it looked great.
It looked very good. And when we got in there, I'm standing across from the bar, and I look over, and there's a picture frame with a printed piece of paper in that says like, this stuff doesn't necessarily represent the opinions of the owners of the bar. This is just a moment in time. It's a gimmick. It's just all a fucking gimmick for these people.
And then they have the nerve to tell people to come perform live in there. And that was bullshit.
So,
they wouldn't let us close the door down. So, normally we get the bar for the night whenever we do a show. So there was a whole bunch of fucking drunk assholes just talking in the back. And, either we could have thrown a tantrum or we just fucking powered through it. The IWW ended up coming through with the PA system. Thank you so much, Cody. You're the shit.
Yeah, that was awesome that they did that. And like, so we got a PA and we get in there and they don't let us close the door down. Like we can't close the door down and charge people. And look, I hate having to charge people to see this, but this doesn't happen if we don't charge people. You can't travel to states and do fucking art or comedy or music or anything for free. It doesn't work. The numbers don't fucking add up. You have to make fucking money for it. And not letting us shut down the door, that was the moment where I was like, this fucking place, they scammed us. Like there was, we filled their fucking bar. And they fucking scammed us because, a bunch of fucking drunk asshole frat boys showed up in there and acted like fucking idiots at the bar. Nobody could hear the people that actually got to pay to see the show couldn't hear the show that they paid for because these rude fucking people and this shitty fucking bar couldn't they didn't even have a fucking stage. Yeah. Like, this bar didn't even have a fucking stage. So you don't have any microphones and you don't have any stage. You're not a fucking bar with a performance area. You can't fucking perform at a place. Okay, look, I performed at 100 fucking punk bars. That's where we perform most of the time. Almost all the bars we perform at are bars where punk bands play. And I've been treated better by every fucking single one of those bars than this one. I've never been to a shittier bar. That place in fucking New Orleans, the Circle Bar, that was a straight up punk bar. The band playing before us was called, or the band playing after was called like Zombie Tampon or something like that. And they had fucking mics. At least they had fucking mics and speakers. There was mics that worked.
Yeah, they had a sound system that was ready to go.
We don't ask for a lot of shit. We don't ask for fucking anything. We ask for a way to amplify our voices. And if there's not a way to amplify our voices, we'd like a stage. And that's really about fucking all we need to do a show.
Dude, you know what? I tell you what, I hated the vibe of that place, especially in that neighborhood, dude, because it feels like someone should throw a rock through that fucking window, man. I feel like playing that, the Rage Against the Machine, rolling down Rodeo with the shotgun. You know that shit? Just playing that and throwing rock. Because there was also a really obnoxious place next to it called the Taco and Ice Cream Joint. And this was in a place that had like a whole bunch of other Mexican restaurants. And it was so fucking obnoxious to see people in there and going to like a really expensive thrift store next door. Like, just shut that shit down. That fucking place sucked. That shit sucked. Sorry, y'all, but that blew. And it feels like they're gonna make a bunch of people move out of their fucking homes for more of that bullshit.
Or the people in the neighborhood aren't going to be able to afford to eat at the fucking bar or go to the fucking bar.
That's what I hate. That's what the thing about it is, like, I like gringo tacos. I fucking eat them up everywhere I go. I'll put Chinese food in a burrito and I'll eat it. But, like, it really, when you have it next door to, like, hardworking people that are making food of their culture to make money and get by, they do not have the money as some jagoff to do tacos and ice cream joint, bro. You know?
Yeah, or
we
like
have
graphic
heady
design.
brews. Yeah.
They don't have the graphic design guys
or the seed money. Yeah. The bank loan and all that. It's fucked up.
I mean, it was Cherokee Street, and I'm not trying to shit on your town. I'm going to tell you right now that, like, there's no city that we've been to where there isn't, like, rampant gentrification. But, like, something that annoys me, and this just happened to me today in Columbus, I will say this, is that, like, I was out on Parsons Avenue, which, I mean, it's on the south end of Columbus. When I was growing up, in order to denote that somebody was white trash or redneck or a hillbilly or an idiot or some kind of city loser, Lonnie sort of thing,
sure,
you would say, are you from the south end of Columbus? And the south end is a place that has always
reputation. Yeah,
it's just a place with it's where poor white people live, basically. That's the whole fucking neighborhood. And, you know, there's people of color there too. I'm just, you know, that's the generalization about the South End, is like poor white people that have chickens and shit in their yard. You know what I mean? And
they ought to change the name to the Trail of Tears Street.
They should. But the name of the I walked by this restaurant today, a vegan restaurant that is opening up there, and it's called Commune. And I'm just like, what is this thing? Like, you're marketing now, like, I'm getting marketed to by gentrifiers.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm I'm hip to what's going on. Like, it's fucking disgusting. Why would you market towards that's not...
Yeah, you're trying to make money.
Yeah, you don't fit in this. This isn't...
You're not a part of the community. You're not from this community at all.
No, you're just coming in and you have money and you fucking bought a fucking restaurant. You put a restaurant in a building that used to be a place where a guy named Larry sold used washers and dryers. You know what I mean? But the real estate went up and he couldn't afford it anymore. So now you're opening your restaurant that is like it's not a community service. It's not like a community gathering point or anything like that. It's a fucking restaurant. Yeah. That's what it is. I don't care what kind of high-minded ideals you have. You should try to blend into the area that, I mean, you should just, I don't know, like, the gentrification thing's really rough, you know? Like, I don't think there's any problem with the state deciding to, like, build bike paths in neighborhoods and shit like that. And I think things like that, like public works projects in neighborhoods like that, could be really great and could, like, kind of change how things are, you know what I mean? Like, could change how people live and how they see things. And, like, if there was investment in, like, making sure that those people had, like, the same access to food that I have, or that people in the suburbs have, where there's, like, definitely more access to cheap food in the suburbs than there are in that part of the city, right?
Yeah, it's just racism.
It is. It's racism and classism. And the thing that bothers me about it, though, because they don't invest in it, the people that do invest in it are people that have no interest in preserving what is in that spot at that fucking time. Yeah. You know, they come in with an idea,
with a plan,
and
They're the manager.
Yeah. And they develop. They call it developing. And it makes me fucking sick. It pisses me off. And it pissed me off that, like, this bar, to me, look, I didn't book this show, and like, Brett booked it, and it's nobody's fault.
Here's what happened. I send scattershot emails. I send out 6 emails to 6 places that I got in one night. Whoever bites first, I try to get something down. That's all that happened, you know?
Well, what I'm saying is, this is the type of place that I feel like this is the type of place that I feel like played on my sensibilities and ideology to like tie me down into that place. And I feel tricked and I feel ripped off, and I'm like really pissed. I'm like really pissed off about the door thing.
Yeah.
Because if I can't charge for my thing, but because you want to like make this maximum profit by ruining my fucking show, then fuck you. You know, fuck you. You're not, I mean, I don't know. The whole thing was fucking dirty. Fuck that fucking place.
Yeah, it sucked.
That's naming names. We name names too, folks. Don't just think that we're having people call in here and name names. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of mixed use condos and stuff like that in Columbus, and like, I mean, I've seen fully gentrified. Brett, you sent me a real estate listing not too long ago from Columbus, right?
Yeah, there was somebody in Columbus on Craigslist actually wrote, the gentrification process is coming along. It's almost completed. Like they was like gave a progress bar on it. Like, don't worry, there's going to be duck pin bowling here soon.
We're sorry. We got rid of all the people that are undesirable to you, and now it's just all people like you.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
You will never have to deal with somebody listening to Kid Rock on their front porch. I promise. Okay?
Right. Yeah. You get this special area now. They can live in the suburbs, right? They can get off the suburbs.
I mean, yeah, that's what they end up doing, though. They end up, and what that does is it takes the people who generations of people lived in the city and are kind of socialized in the city and
a part of it.
And they're a part of it. It moves them out and then separates them from all of the things that they would be used to too.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Like,
so like they would, it'll take those people that need the bus line, that people that actually use the bus, and then move them to an exurb where they can't get the fucking bus anymore. The bus is a prohibitively long ride. Or the bus service doesn't happen when they're going to work. Yeah. And they just separate them from all that stuff. And what this is white rich. It's white people with money making the decision on where everybody else gets to live. They at one point were like, we don't want to fucking live in the city. The city's fucking sucks. It's dirty and we have to be around other people. We're fucking moving away. And then they redlined everything so nobody else could move out where they were. And then after a while, they were like, we don't fucking like it out here in the suburbs. It's a cultureless hellhole. It sucks.
Yeah, their kids grew up in misery in the suburbs.
Yeah, and they were like, well, we want to live in the city. So they move into the city and just displace all the people that they had just placed there. It's like they move everybody around to whatever their whim is. It's fucking disgusting, man. This fucking, this every city, dude. It's
everywhere we go.
City.
Yeah.
I've never been to a city that wasn't like this. It's fucking sad.
Yeah, it's awful. You know what? Actually, I got some. You want to do some more bummer news real quick? Sure. Somebody just told me one of my neighbors is like a liberal, works for the city guy, and he was wearing this shirt for the Branch Out campaign, where basically they had done this study. The mayor had done this. They paid for the study that showed like Columbus needed a few 100,000 more trees. And that it created all of these improvements in community relations and all of this stuff. You know, trees are good for people. Yeah. And so they came up with this like initiative to get it started. And I just read today that they're like not going to do that.
Why aren't they doing it?
They just scrapped it.
They were just like, no, we ain't going to do that tree thing.
They promised
we had this tree idea, and then we decided we don't need to do this tree thing anymore.
Yeah, they promised in 2015 to do it, and then it got to be 2018, which was like the due date, and they were just like, yeah, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. That sounds about. That's what they did with marijuana here. That's exactly what they did with legal marijuana here. Is they were like, it'll be ready by September 8th. Legally, it has to be ready by September 8th. And then they were like,
yeah, you're not gonna get it.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, we can't grow it yet.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where it's at actually.
Let's cover some news before we get out of here that's not just about ourselves.
Okay.
How's that sound?
That works for me.
A few things I saw earlier in the week. This is from CBS News Money Watch. Amazon, which has come under fire for treating warehouse workers as robots, is now deflecting criticism for a 2016 patent that proposed to house workers in cages.
I saw this. I did see this picture.
Did you?
Very disturbing.
Yeah, Amazon has a patent for caging humans in robot work zones.
It looks like basically a shark cage, right? It's like it's a wire cage, and there are arms that come off of it that like do different activities. I feel like eventually they're just going to like tap into your brain and use your brain as like the microchip for the whole exoskeleton, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that
Well,
make
I
sense?
think they're going to figure out a way that they can just take control of your brain and move your stuff, and then you go off into like a dream.
Yeah.
Like sort of like you get to go off in like a Matrix style adventure while they're fucking just poking wrinkles in your brain to get you to do work.
Yeah, to power like an exoskeleton that ships boxes to your house.
That's what's ideal. That's their ideal setup. The patent was highlighted in a recent article by 2 AI researchers who wrote that the design illustrated an extraordinary illustration of worker alienation, a stark moment in a relationship between humans and machines. While the optics of placing workers inside a cage certainly aren't good.
Okay.
Thanks,
that's
CBS
soft
Money
language.
Yeah.
I mean, but it does have its plus sides.
The patent's purpose was geared toward employee safety rather than confinement. The caged mobile workspace was designed to keep humans safe as they entered warehouse floors where robots zoom around, pushing towering shelves of goods ordered by Amazon customers. An Amazon executive, Dave Clark, wrote on Twitter that the company doesn't plan on using this design.
No, not this design. It'll be much sleeker when we unveil it.
Okay. Sometimes even bad ideas get submitted for patents, wrote Clark, senior vice president of operations at Amazon, responding to a Seattle Times article about the patent. This was never used, and we have no plans for usage.
Why did you try to get the copyright to it then?
Well, he said, we developed a far better solution.
Oh, no.
Which is small vests associates can wear that cause all robotic drive units in their proximity to stop moving.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
So
I would
like
just
a
stand by a
tracker vest?
robot. Just stand by it. Yeah, they just put a they made it sleeker, actually.
You could quit your job and you could take your vest off and throw it on the arms of one of those so it just like spins out of control.
An Amazon spokeswoman said the speculation about the patent was misguided. She added, like many companies, we file a number of forward-looking patent applications. When she says forward-looking, Brett, she means looking forward into the future where Amazon is allowed to put you in a cage.
Right,
and
right.
Stuff and the optics don't matter.
Right. It doesn't look as shark cagey.
It's forward. We're like thinking forward to a future where it doesn't matter what you think about being in a cage.
Right.
We can just put you in one.
You'll just have to do it.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're gonna have to get in the cage.
We're not thinking about now.
No, you would never get in the cage now, but we're gonna have a cage for you eventually.
Eventually, you're gonna want to go into the cage. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. It's gonna be a choice between the cage and something else. You're gonna love the cage. The other thing's like a shark's mouth or something like that. Even as a concept, the design is striking a nerve with some consumers at a time when the wealthiest Americans are enjoying higher wages and income, while many lower income and middle class families struggle to cover their basic needs. Automation, like the robots used inside Amazon's warehouse, has been blamed for hollowing out middle class occupations and pushing workers into jobs with less stability and lower wages. I don't know if, like, here's the thing. Automation is the fucking problem, but the real problem is that they're just not paying the people doing harder jobs what they're worth. That's the fucking problem. It doesn't matter what fucking kind of job it is, you deserve money.
Well, it also means that the people right now are doing an extremely dangerous job to the point where they're like, we can't just have them out there like raw dogging it, like in the workplace. They're going to need to suit up. They're going to need an exoskeleton or a vest, some sort of cranial apparatus. Like, they are not going to survive. These robots is going to crush them.
A few people are going to get crushed before they actually figure this out.
But they're doing it right now. Then, like, we know that people are getting hurt at work and probably should be in a cage for the type of work they're doing at Amazon.
Yeah.
But they're starting out at I guess they're saying, what, $12.50, I think is the average, is what they get paid?
I'm sure. Yeah, it's probably around 12 bucks an hour.
I looked
Because
it
I know
up.
that the people that I went to high school with are fairly happy with the
Yeah.
wages that they make at Amazon. But
Yeah.
I mean, they're also like, one of the reasons that a lot of them are happy with the money they're making at Amazon is because they're working fucking 60 hours a week at Amazon.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like one of those things where there's a lot of people who get.
They need it. I mean, you just have to go for it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've lived that.
Well, no, there's a lot of there's like a certain type of employee at a lot of places that'll work like that. They don't like necessarily visualize it as I'm being paid too little on the hour for my job. They look at the end result paycheck
Right.
at the end. And once you get to that 40 hours and then you can start claiming overtime, I mean, for a lot of people, that means everything to them.
Sure.
You know,
No,
and
that makes a lot of households stay up.
And I've known people who have worked overtime pretty much their entire fucking career. Like, there were people at the cable company, dude, that would pay you $100 to take your on-call for the week. And they would just be on call 6, 7, 8 weeks in a row. Because they paid people every week to take their on-call. Because you make more than $100 doing it. But you work like fucking 60, 70 fucking hours that week. And they were just like, they didn't see it as a waste of time. There are a lot of people that just don't see it as a waste of time. They see that as
Stacking
like,
paper.
I'm going to get a motherfucking, like a real ass truck out of this thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to get a dually.
I'm going to get a 3D TV out of this thing. If I work fucking 60 hours for the next 3 weeks, I can get the next big.
That bent Samsung TV.
Yeah, I can get the
curved
TV with the
one.
mood lighting on the side.
Yeah. Yes.
You know? And like, far be it for me to tell them to, you know, that they're wrong. I don't think that they're wrong. I just don't think that.
Well, they're also, I think, then they expect a lot of those people expect everyone else to adopt that attitude. You
Right.
know?
Yeah. A lot of times they're like, well, I make plenty of money.
Yeah. It's like you don't have anything else going on in your life.
Yeah. You don't have like an actual life. And
Yeah.
You're
You're
not
just
building
working.
relationship with, you're not building the kind of deep relationships with the people around you that you might even think you are. You know,
Yeah.
if you're working 60 hours a week, I can guarantee your relationship with your kids isn't the same as you think
Right.
it is. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But like a lot of people need that. I don't know, but working conditions inside Amazon warehouses came under scrutiny earlier this year, and Hired, a book about low-wage work in the UK by journalist James Bloodworth, who worked undercover at one of the retailer's English warehouses. He depicted a workplace where workers are treated like robot, a claim that Amazon has disputed, which, by the way, you can't dispute that. Like, we've all fucking worked in a warehouse. Like, I don't know if everybody that's listening's worked in a warehouse, but Brett and I have each worked in warehouses. And like when we were working in warehouses, they were gearing it to treating you like a robot.
Yeah.
And like Amazon is one of those cutting edge fucking tech companies that I can guarantee are 100 times worse. And we've read stories, we've talked to employees of Amazon, and we know like what's going on there.
No, yeah, I mean, we had guns. We had to report everything. Like every box we touched, we had to scan, and then the managers could pull all those numbers and do all that stuff. So I don't even know what the fuck this was like, though. I'm sure it's awful.
Workers received disciplinary points for various infractions. 6 points were grounds for firing. I worked at a call center that was like that. Calling in sick resulted in 1 point. A worker told Bloodworth she offered to bring in a doctor's note and was told she would still be given a point. I have been there. I've seen that
it happens all the time.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, doctors don't get you shit at a lot of jobs.
No, they don't give a shit about no doctor's note. They care if you were there doing the shit.
Yeah.
You know. A handheld device monitored workers' time and movement, sending messages when they were behind or slowing down. So yeah, that's like a robot.
That's full tracking.
And you know, in this story, I only found that they talk about people peeing in bottles while they're on the floor because that hand machine will fuck you up. So
that's awful.
Yeah, maybe we'll cover this later on. Maybe we'll cover this whole story later on. I'd love. Maybe I'll see if I can find somebody that works at the Amazon warehouse to talk to on a third show or something like that.
I'm sure there's somebody.
If you know anybody that works for Amazon warehouse and they'd like to call into the call-in show on Sunday, we'll make them a priority for sure. And I would be totally cool with, like, I don't care what kind of person they are. I don't care if they're like nervous. Like, I'll make it comfortable for them to do the show, but like they can be anonymous. But that place is tough. That Amazon is a tough fucking place. Is a tough fucking place to work. It sounds like. And
yeah, I knew one guy that worked there. It didn't last very long. Most people, everybody I know, just did stints there.
Yeah,
it's not like I don't know anybody that's career Amazon warehouse.
Well, I mean, well, I don't know if you can do it if the physical requirements are as hard as they sound. It's the same thing as UPS. Like, I knew a fucking 100 people that worked at UPS. I don't know anybody that ended up being a driver. I don't know anybody that got to the driver status at UPS, because the job on the way up there loading the trucks, like, you would work part-time and it was murder just to fucking even do that. And they'll pay for your tuition at college. I knew so many people that just couldn't hack it.
Yeah.
You know?
Larry G in the chat worked on the delivery side of the Amazon warehouse all last year.
Okay. Larry G, DM me or send me an IM or send it to Brett, and I'll have you on, or you can call in Sunday. I'd love to talk about Amazon and see what kind of
hijinks are happening.
Well, just what Jeff Bezos is up to, right?
Yeah.
What the bees is up to. I mean, like, why can't they make it? Why is this idea that, like, they would I know why, that they would rather spend money, like, fighting bad PR than actually just fixing the fucking thing and making it a good place to work.
Yeah.
I mean, these places make an amount of money now where there's no excuse for them not to be.
No, you're in charge of a lot of people's livelihoods. Like, you're the sole provider for.
And you fucking chose to be that. That's not like necessarily like
you kicked everybody else out of business that even was doing it better.
Right. Yeah, everybody else is gone because of you. And you're the employee. And this is what happened with Walmart a few years ago. Walmart did the same fucking thing, man. They just kicked everybody else out of business and then came with some shitty ass jobs and was like, I don't know why everybody's so broke. What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
You know?
Because they're only getting paid at Walmart wages.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. I closed the story.
It's abysmal, man. We talked about it on the live show, but there's Labor Day this week, and it was also good to go to some of those places, because when we went to Chicago, they said that their minimum wage was like $11 or $12.
It was $12.
It was $12 or something, which I understand. I wouldn't move to Chicago unless I made $250,000. But we went to like Des Moines and Minneapolis and St. Louis and all those. It was like $750, $775 right there with us in just like unacceptable territory.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't do nothing for $7.
I don't think any job is not work. Somebody asked me on stage, like, what the hardest job I ever had was, right, at one of the shows, and I roofing is, like, when I was an industrial roofer, that was probably the actual hardest work I ever did. But if I had to go to, like, number 2, what was the hardest job I ever had, it was definitely fucking McDonald's. Like, that job was not easy, and that's the job where people say, because it's physically demanding. That job is fucking physically demanding. And you can't tell me that you can't tell me that it's like you can't tell me it's not. Like, you can't tell me that it's an easy job if you've never done it. It's not an easy fucking job, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for one more story here before we get out of here.
Okay.
I had it opened up, and then the stupid fucking webpage shut it, and now I hate it. But it was about a pharmaceutical company who had raised the price of course I can't find it. Like, why would I be able to fucking find it, you know? It's about a pharmaceutical company that raised the price of one of their medicines. It was a medicine for I can't even goddamn remember what the medicine was for now. It was something important though.
Okay.
And he said it's a moral duty for him to raise the price by 400% so that his shareholders made money on it. Like, that was like his thing, is so he went with the moral duty route
to raise money.
Yeah,
is the moral thing to do.
And like, it's like, I don't give a shit about your motherfucking I don't care.
Yeah.
about your shareholders. Like, I wish all your shareholders would die. Like, that's what I hope.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's tough. I gotta say, also traveling around to these different cities, you paying some crazy ass prices for kratom and CBD.
Yeah.
Like, we are hooking you up because there's some shit that we have that was like double the price.
Yeah, I saw a lot of pricey kratom.
Yeah, I can't charge them too much.
Make you feel bad if you charge too much. You're trying to do a sweet boy thing.
Yeah, trying to hook you all up.
I would never find this article. I've flipped past the same Pussy Riot article 4 times.
Okay. And
still haven't found it. I hate The Hill. The Hill is the website. So if you can find it, we'll try to get it on the goddamn call-in show this Sunday, which is back. Please call in.
Yeah,
I think we're done, dude.
This is the show?
I think we're done.
Thanks for tuning in. Glad you listened to the show. Hope you enjoyed it. We are putting together a little Texas tour, and our West Coast is coming. I talked to my wife. I'm thinking it might be the week after Christmas. She's cool with it.
All right.
Do you want to? I'm not announcing it.
Yeah, don't announce it because I talked to the kid and.
No,
she's a fucking asshole, dude. I told you.
That's a good trip.
I know.
That's a good gift, isn't it?
I know. We'll talk about it later.
Damn, sorry.
My daughter hates fucking everything, dude.
I don't know. I can't take my daughter out of school for that long. So.
I can't either. I told her if you don't agree to this, then you probably ain't fucking going.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, we might probably somewhere in November, December. Then I'm thinking I want to go when it's cold here. I want to go where it's hot somewhere else. So I don't know. Just forget like you heard everything that we just said. We also have Gumball shirts are happening. I'm doing the post right now as soon as I'm done recording this show. So by the time you hear this, the Gumball shirts are going to be available for pre-order. Just $20. You can get them all month long until October 1st. $20. You can get an injury to Gumball is an injury to all, or Gumball is a stupid asshole. There's even a combo pack. You can go and check that all out. In October, after we order them, they'll be $25. So get in early, save some money, and get ready for that Street Fight swag so we can spread the word of Gumballism to everywhere.
Damn, I didn't even talk Spider-Man.
You didn't get into your Spider-Man.
He's a cop. It's just very cop
Spidey's
heavy,
a cop.
But I'm going to tell you how I play this game. All the criminals are actual bad criminals. They're just bad boys, and the cops are actually good in that universe.
Oh no!
That's how I'm playing the game.
You're playing it like just a comic book fantasy.
Yeah, it's a fantasy game. There's a Spider-Man in it.
Sure.
Like people are just like, oh, I hate busting these drug deals, and I'm like, well, they're actually bad.
Sometimes they sell really crazy drugs in those comics that actually do make the teens die and shit go crazy.
Those are actually the bad drugs.
Yeah.
So sorry, I have to stop them.
Yeah, we want to make sure maybe Spider-Man should get people that are on bath salts some cocaine or uncut cocaine or something.
Just whoop their ass. Hey, let me whoop your ass real quick.
Yeah.
I'll whoop your ass. You'll be fine. I'm not trying to send you to jail. I
sober
hate how
up,
Spider-Man.
buddy.
I hate how Spider-Man keeps telling people to get a job in that game.
Wow, he sounds like a real tyrant.
He's like a conservative grandpa a little bit in that game.
Jesus.
It's like maybe if you'd go get a real job, you wouldn't have to rob people.
Okay, don't judge. We don't all have superpowers.
I told no shit. Well, but Spider-Man gets evicted in the game.
Oh, that's
part of the game. You got to go get your stuff out of the trash because your landlord threw it in the trash.
That sucks.
But yeah, it really is Spider-Man is the whole time he's wanting to help the cops. He even calls himself Spider Cop for part of the game. And then he's like, I'm hanging up and he's helping the cops. And part of the opening up the map so that you can see everything on the map is you have to go to these little towers, these police surveillance towers, and de-scramble them so that the police can use them to do surveillance on all of the boroughs of New York. So it's pretty problematic.
Sure.
If you're coming from my side of the deal.
But this isn't real life, right?
It is not. It's just a video game. It is just a game.
It's still fun as fuck to swing from the buildings, right?
Goodness gracious, it's fun. I mean, I think if they wanted to make it realistic, like they're trying to make it like this real cop world, then I would be getting in trouble all the time for swinging, and I'd have to spend a night in jail.
Yeah, the cops would be chasing you every chance they got, shooting their weapons.
Cops would hate. There's also a black cop character named Jefferson Davis in it, which I find like, I mean, like why the name of the president
that
of
was
the Confederacy?
Yeah,
Like,
that's weird.
Yeah, why'd they do that? Like what?
What kind of?
Why'd you make that choice?
Yeah, I mean, probably an old character back in the the 60s or something. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's an old character, but it's just an odd choice for a name. You could choose not to use him.
Yeah,
yeah. Weird game. Some of the choices are very tone deaf for the world that we live in now. You know what I mean? But because like somebody was like, oh well, they made a Batman game. I'm like, but in the Batman game, you spend most of the time whooping cops' asses because they're like dirty cops. You're beating up cops and bad guys.
Right.
But in this one, the cops are just like your buddies. It's like, hey, I love you, police. Like it's the most.
You do a great job.
It's the most all lives matter game I've ever played. That's for sure. I mean, I will. I'll try to get it on Twitch sometime in the next couple days so you can watch me yell at Spider-Man. I keep pretending that when I bust a drug deal, I'm just keeping all the drugs for myself.
Right. You're just really pulling a lick.
Yeah. I'm robbing them. I'm robbing the drug dealers.
Right.
Taking them all. I'm Spider-Man.
That's what I do.
And Spider-Man, stop telling people to get a fucking job. Jeez.
Yeah, that sounds like some weird talk.
I know. It's your dad. It's if your dad was Spider-Man.
And cut your hair.
What? CC's pizza ain't good enough for a vegetarian?
All right. Thank you, folks, for listening. We will see you later this week. We are Street Fight. Peace. Peace. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that fucking